Good morning, good morning, good morning, y'all. YouTube, I feel like it has been a good little minute since I have actually done the daily manners. It has been life. I ain't even gonna say life has been lifing, but it has definitely been such a busy season already, busy days, and I just honestly have not had time. But nevertheless, we are back and we are up and running. As always, as you guys are coming in, even if you are catching this thing on the replay, go ahead and tell God thank you. And tell us one thing that you are grateful for. Also, please don't forget that if you are catching this thing on the replay, be sure that you hit that thumbs up button and be sure that you hashtag replay crew so that I know that like y'all are really rocking with me even when I'm not live. And so today I will say that I am grateful for God's guidance. I'm grateful for the shift that is happening in my life. Like I'm just so grateful I'm grateful that all things work together. And a lot of times if we just give God time, we get to see that, man, a lot of times the things that we are stressing about, the things that we are concerned about are not even things that we need to be worried about in itself. And so I'm definitely so very grateful for that. I'm also grateful for the new clientele, even for picking up my carpet cleaning business, carpet and upholstery cleaning business. And so I'm grateful even for that. I said, Lord, not I've gotten a whole nother an entirely different client or potential client. And so that has been a very neat thing to see this week, being that I picked up something that at one point I had sat down and I was like, yeah, I'm not studying this. And I'm gonna just say this. I feel like there were some moments like where we're following God and we may okay, Mayani, listen, I'm praying the same and claiming the same for you. But I feel like there are some moments, and I don't know if anybody else can attest to this, where you can follow God and God will tell you do this, do that, do that. And sometimes, it's like we do all of the following and we do what God says do, only to be met with nothing. And I feel like a lot of us go through those seasons or those moments where we just absolutely just kind of just feel like, was this for nothing? Did I make a mistake by doing this, or whatever the case may be? Even now, and I'm gonna just let the Holy Spirit have his way. It's like he's reminding me of like 2020. In 2020, when the world was shut down, I really took the time to actually just invest in ministry and invest in some of the things that God was leading me to do. I invested in camera equipment. I invested in the studio lights, all of these different things I invested in. And I remember like doing all of that in 2020, having like big hopes, big dreams. And right when I thought that like, oh, I'm gonna use this stuff, it just went right back to nothing happening. And I remember like in those years, like the years that came after, I remember like thinking to God, like, man, my Yanni, listen, let me get there. Not you in the vein. Hold on. This is about to bless somebody. And we just gonna just let God flow. But I feel like, the years after that, I'm asking God, I'm like, did you have me waste my money? Why did you have me do boom, 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 boom? And then it's like years later, I didn't know that I would be in this space where I would actually have like just everything that I needed for such a time as now. And so I'm so very thankful that we serve a God that prepares us long before the awaited time comes. And let that be encouragement to those of you guys that feel like, man, I follow God T and nothing is happening. I did what God said do and nothing is happening. Let that be encouragement that sometimes, God will prepare us and then let life marinate, let us marinate rather. And then, we come to a place where we've entered into the Kairos timing of God. And so, I just, even now, like, I bought this carpet cleaning and upholstery equipment, like, it was probably over a year ago before I moved here, and to be honest, after my aunt passed away, and even after I got the equipment, I just kind of felt like nothing is happening from this. I'm not really getting clients, or I would get, inquiries and people just would not follow back up. And so what's going on, Miss Nicole? And so being in this season where I'm picking back up something that at one point I'm like, why did you have me do this? Why did you have me, prepare this way and only to be met with nothing? And so I'm very grateful for that aspect of who God is. As you guys can see by today's daily manna, wow, I didn't waste it. Well, I ain't gonna say wasted, but I just spent 5 minutes just flowing. But while you guys are here, as you guys can see, the today's daily manna is don't fall for the trap. Don't fall for the trap. Can I get somebody to just type that in on the screen? I'm gonna sip me some coffee and we gonna flow into today's word. Don't fall for the trap. It's time for me to get some coffee. I told God, I said, I'm using all this ground coffee that I done bought that I don't like. I'm going to use it. But I digress. Don't fall for the trap. I feel like, for every single person that is here, we all have something that the devil typically uses against us at moments where you may be feeling progress, at moments where you may be feeling like, I'm finally advancing. I'm finally moving forward. I feel like everybody, by a show of hands, if you get what I'm saying, give me some fire emojis. I feel like to a certain degree, everybody has that one thing that it don't matter. It just do not matter. The devil gonna hit you in that area back to back to back to back to back. Listen, you may feel like, man, I've healed in that area, and you going on about your life. And right when you think that you about to make some progress, right when even you may feel like, man, I'm stretched in, the devil just literally just attacks that thing back to back to back. I feel like for me, that thing has been my dogs. And this started, like, honestly, it predates the wilderness. Like, this was something even in childhood. Just, I didn't realize that it was the devil using that to gain control or using that to veer my focus until like today. And I feel like over the past few years, it's been apparent that whenever I'm doing something for God, whenever I'm making leeway, whenever I feel stretched in, the devil will always use my animals or attack my animals to get me unfocused. And I'm gonna be for real, it has been one of those situations where it's so very rocky in trusting God, because a lot of times when the devil repeatedly attacks us in the same areas, you can hear what God is saying and you can still be like, I don't trust it, because the last time when the devil attacked this area, this happened or that happened or whatever the case may be. And I feel like over the past few years, God has been trying to heal that part of me. But I've had moments, and I'm just going to be transparent, where it's like, because of so much trauma, because of the devil repeatedly attacking me in that area. And okay, let me slow down. I'm going to tell y'all where trauma oftentimes sets in it. Trauma is not really something that happens when God comes through. Trauma is something that happens when you go through something, especially faith-wise, when you go through something and the outcome is not a good outcome. And you may get out of that situation, you may get out of that season, but the emotional damage has already been done. So there was a point in my life where I'm like, God, you giving me all these dogs to take care of. And there was a season where where one particular dog, y'all didn't know him. His name was Isaac. He was Bella's brother. I found these two puppies, and literally, I remember this one day walking outside. I was in the wilderness, and God asked me to make a choice. And I didn't know what God was asking me. I thought he was asking me, hey, make a choice of which dog you want. He was. And in that moment, I remember saying Isaac. Isaac was the dog that I favored more so than Bella. And I remember, after that happened, the following few weeks or months, Isaac went down, and I watched this dog decline in front of me. And I remember in that season feeling like, you're giving me dogs to take care of, but you're not giving me the money that I need to, give them the attention that they need. And so after that season of life, when I came out of that wilderness, my mindset was, whenever I see any little thing that is wrong with my dogs, I am going to the vet. I don't care if it is bill money. I don't care if it's rent money. I don't care if I have to call and borrow this money. These dogs are going to the vet. And that's just, where I've been for a while. And so what I would notice is that in every moment, even after that season, Isaac passed away. But after that season, at every single juncture of me needing to see God, come through, it may have been around the time of rent. It was just various moments where faith was required. A lot of times the devil would attack my dogs, and what would happen would be what I would call false alarms. false fires where I'm looking at my dog out of nowhere. It looks like they going like they fallen ill or something is wrong, only for me to take them to the vet and the vet is like, yeah, it's nothing wrong. And that happened for years. It happened recently. I'm just gonna be for real. It happened recently. And so it would be these moments where God would be like, why don't you trust me? And I wasn't really ready at the time to address, like, God, I don't trust you because you let this dog die. You gave me this dog and you let me watch him die. And it was nothing that I could do, like, to save him, nothing that I could do to help him. That was probably one of the most traumatic, like, experiences that I've ever had. He passed away from parvo. And even too, I think that if I dug back enough in like my gallery, I would still have some of those videos that I remember like taking of him, but I'm not trying to go look for that. And so, needless to say, over the past few years, it's been a common thing. Whenever I'm making leeway, whenever I'm in alignment, whenever my focus is locked in, whenever my faith is at an all-time high, and even in moments where my faith is kind of like wavering a little bit, the devil typically attacks my dogs. And so it got a little bit better after I lost Bella and after that last season of God healing me. However, what I've noticed is that though the devil doing that same thing is something that has started back. And I'm going to just say this. A lot of times when we think about what the devil is attacking, he will attack you in the area where your faith is being stretched. I'm going to say that again. When you think about the devil attacking you, a lot of times the devil will attack you in whatever area your faith is being stretched in. So if you are believing God for finances, whether it's money to pay a bill, money to get out of debt, or whatever the case may be, the devil is going to attack you in that area. So going back to like me exposing the devil attacking my dogs, a lot of times he will attack my dogs at the time when I have to pay rent. So now I feel like I have to make a choice to pay my rent or make a choice to take my dogs to the vet. But then a lot of times I would cave in because I had an overwhelming fear of going back through watching a dog decline and not being able to do anything for it. And so a lot of times what would happen would be I would choose to take my dogs to the vet, spend a few $100s and make sure that they fine. And now my faith is still stretched in the area of like in the area of like believing God for the money I needed. Point blank, period. And so fast forward to when I went to Dallas this past 2 weekends ago. This weekend it'd make 2 weeks, but two weekends ago. And right the day that I'm getting ready to like go to Dallas, I wake up and Bo has like, you know, the little eye boogers. And when I say like the eye boogers, I mean like these, it was more than like normal. And I'm going somewhere with this. And I remember God telling me, because I'm like, I gotta go on this trip. Money is kind of limited because I have bills I'm trying to catch up on. Boom, 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 boom. And I don't want to go, I don't believe in going to another state and you not having anything. So I'm like, cool. I remember, you know, panicking. Like, I don't want to leave and this dog is like not doing well. And I remember, I kid y'all not, God told me it's nothing wrong with him. It's his allergies. He even had other people tell me it's his allergies. What did I do? I done took Bo to the vet only for them to say it's his allergies. All we can do is give him some eye drops. So at this point, I'm like, I done wasted $100 doing this and I've set myself back time-wise. And so fast forward, you know, I repented and even just started to get to the root of why does the devil keep attacking me in this particular area? And so yesterday, I kid y'all not, yesterday was going on. Yesterday happened and I found myself, I'm okay. I'm going somewhere with this. I'm okay, you know, believing God. I'm cool. I'm like, I got a lot of things that I need to get done, but my mindset is I'm tackling things one thing at a time. So I look down and Capone has this weird, like, you know, stuff coming from his private area. And I'm like, normally with male dogs, they call it like something with an S. It's normal. But I'm like, this discharge is a little bit more than normal. And I'm like, you licking yourself a whole lot. Like, sometimes it's normal, but what's really going on? I remember that same fear coming over me last night. And I'm like, man, I got bills first of the month, bills to pay. I got this to do. I'm thinking about all these different things that I have to get done financially. And I remember like feeling overwhelmed. And so I remember in that moment, God is telling me, there is nothing wrong with him. There's nothing wrong with him. And so I'm sitting there and I'm panicking because I'm like, I don't want to, I don't want anything to happen to this dog. What about this? What about this? And now it's putting a stretch on money. And you know what God told me? The Lord says this does not have to put a strain on money if you trust what I'm saying. I'm going somewhere. And then the Holy Spirit said, the devil will stop when you stop falling for the trap. He says, yeah, you tired of the devil messing with your dogs? He will stop when you stop falling for the trap. He said, have you not picked up on the thing? The devil does nothing new. A lot of times how the devil tricks us is he will let some space happen and then he'll do the same attack. He'll let some space happen and you think that you're good, you think you over it, and then boom, he come right back in with the same thing. God said, do you not see the pattern? This is the pattern. And the devil is doing this pattern because every single time it gets you fired up. It gets you so fired up that you start moving in fear and not faith. And God told me, he says, because you keep failing these tests, I'm allowing the devil to do it until you choose faith over fear. God said, yeah, I'm allowing this test to come because this is an area that you don't trust me. Any area where you don't trust me is an opening. I'm going to say it again. It is an opening. You're in the vein, Kaylee. It is an opening. I know that you don't trust me in this area, so I'm allowing this to happen repeatedly until you catch on to the fact that every single time you move in the direction of the attack, you find out that it's nothing. It's not what it looks to be, and that is the epitome of what fear is. False evidence appearing real. So the Lord told me last night, he says, you need to trust me. You need to choose faith over fear, because my fear was, that's really the fear of losing what I love, but also I don't want to watch him decline if there's something that I can do. And so needless to say, last night we go to bed, he acted normal, like Capone acted normal. That be the weird thing. He acted normal, eating, running, playing, acting normal. Last night I glanced at him before I went to bed. No, whatever it's called. Let me see what it's called. It's called something with a S. Hold on, let me find it. It is called smegma. None of that. Wake up this morning, it's sealed. None of that. He used the bathroom. He do boom, 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 like we're good to go. So I noticed this morning it was a small amount. The Lord said, and it was the same fear. Do I need to take him to the vet? God said, all you need to do is reach out to the vet tech and just ask her, is this worth me coming in? What did she send me? What I had already read, smegma. The same thing of what happened with Bo. I'm like, I'm seeing eye boogers. It's allergies. I'm going somewhere. It's allergies. This is our first summer out here. So it is a learning curve of learning how the ailments affect my dogs, how it even affects me. And so like I'm talking to God this morning, and God says this again. He says, do not fall for the trap. I've already told you it's nothing to worry about. It's something that is normal. And even she was like, if it gets worse, and it turns, and bring him in. But right now it's normal. And I remember, like just sitting here like before I went live, and I'm just like, wow, Lord. And you know what God told me? He says, the devil is only able to punk you when you're afraid. The moment you step over into a place of faith, and I'm going to just say this, the moment you step over into a place of faith, the Lord told me, he says, the attack will stop. The warfare will stop. And so today's daily manna is simple. Do not fall for the trap. Everybody on here has some opening that the devil always come this one way, whether he's coming through people, whether it's, attacking your money, whether it's attacking your kids, whether it's attacking your animals, whatever the case may be. Everyone has that one thing that it just never fails. The devil always attacks this one area. And in so many words, what God is saying is the moment that you choose faith over fear, the moment that you choose to not engage or even to respond with what you perceive the devil to be doing, that is the moment that you once and for all are able to shut the door on the devil. And that's today's daily manna. Do not fall for the trap. And I'm going to say this. Preservation is a form of fear. Feeling the need to preserve yourself, it is a form of fear. It's rooted from a place of fear. It's rooted from a place that says, I don't really trust God like that, so I'm going to just try to safeguard myself, whether it's emotionally, whether it's mentally, whether it's financially. And what you start noticing is that wherever preservation is, you start to slowly train yourself and tune yourself to ignore the voice of God, and then it turns into you not following God. The moment you start not following God, the moment you start, training yourself to ignore his voice, that is the moment that you set yourself up to be just straight up attacked by the devil. My need to preserve my dogs, it was rooted from a place of fear. It wasn't rooted from a place of, of faith. It was rooted in fear. And I'm going to say this, the devil had for the past 2 years, it's just been the same thing over and over and over again. And so I truly believe that for many of us in this season, as God is doing new things, I also feel like it comes with the territory of him also giving us opportunities. I feel like he forever gives us opportunities to shut the door on the devil, to step into a greater realm of, or a greater depth of healing, a greater level of faith. And so that is today's daily manna. Don't fall for the trap. Pay attention to what the devil does. Pay attention to also the timing. Because if you can find the pattern, you can break the cycle. I'm going to say that again. If you can find the pattern, you can break the cycle. Y'all ain't got to talk back to me. I'm going to say it again. If you can find the pattern, you can break the cycle. That's it. If this is your word, can you tell God thank you? Also, next week I'll be having the next week prayerfully. We will be up and running. We're going to have our prophetic, texting thread where you can sign up and you receive some form of encouragement every single day at a certain time. It's free. It is free. It's free. It's free. It's free. It's free. I'll have the flyers out soon. I'll have more and more information sooner than later. To those of you guys that feel led to sow, if this was your word, the number is 9. The seed number is 9. Whether you're sowing $9, whether you're sowing 19, whether you're sowing 29, whether you're sowing 99, whether you're sowing 109, it's one person that needs to sow that. And the seed title today is Break the Cycle. 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 And so that is it. The ways to sow are always in the description of every single video. You can sow via paypal.me/thoughtsbyT. You can sow via Chime, $thoughtsbyT. You can sow via Zelle. The number is 769-281-6840. Or you can sow via Cash App using our moderators, Cash App, $DavisaButler. Disclaimer: if you are sowing via Cash App, please do not put a seed title. If you are sowing via Cash App, you can leave it blank, to be for real. Just leave it blank. I love y'all though. I am rooting for you guys. We are about to shift over to TikTok in a second, 1.5 minutes. And so that is it. If you've not already given this a thumbs up, please be sure that you give this a thumbs up. But more so, be sure that you step over into a place where you are operating from the perspective of a person that says, I know I'm free. I love y'all. I'm rooting for y'all. So until tomorrow, y'all. Peace.